Hey everyone, Jimmy Nuts here on the Fantasy Network, and these are the 8 things I'm absolutely going to be reading in 2021. I also want to thank you so much for subscribing, liking the video. If you are not subscribed, feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be reviewing books all through 2021 and putting out some different character studies maybe, and possibly some other top 10 lists that I really enjoy doing. So again, if you want to, go ahead and hit subscribe. But let's talk about these top 8 books because, man, some of them are amazing. So number one, I kind of cheated on, and this was definitely number one priority for me coming into the 2021 year. And I've actually already read the first entry, and I've already started on book 2. I'll finish book 2 in 2021, so I think it still counts. Memory, Sorrow, Thorn by Tad Williams. This is a series that influenced George R.R. Martin to write A Song of Ice and Fire, and to a lot of people, it's overlooked to being a tremendously influential piece of literature in the fantasy genre. Greats like Brandon Sanderson and Patrick Roufas have nodded their hat to Tad Williams, and it's probably for a good reason. I've already finished Dragonbone Chair, and I can tell you that everyone says book 2 and 3 are much better. I thought the Dragonbone Chair was phenomenal. I will have a review out for that later, so you can look out for that. But that was absolutely number one priority in 2021. Sticking with some, I want to say older because that sounds bad, but things that have been published in the past, number 2 priority for me is The Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. I don't know if I'll get to this entire series. I think there's 16 or 17 books, but I'm definitely going to be doing the Assassin's Apprentice and Farseer trilogy as a whole, and then I'm probably going to do Live Ship as well, and then we'll see where we go from there. I don't like to read all of the books in order when they're kind of disjointed. I know they all connect, but they're not completely necessary to read all together. But I would love to get to all 16 or 17 works this year if they click with me. Robin Hobb has had absolute recommendations from people like George R.R. Martin and other authors that I respect, which that definitely always gets me intrigued, considering this channel was created to find things like A Song of Ice and Fire that I would love, or things in the same kind of realm, and I've expanded since then. But Robin Hobb's always been at the top of the list, and I'm pretty pumped to read it. I know it's first-person perspective, which I've only read one book in the last year from that perspective, and I actually enjoyed it. And my friend of mine says that he feels as if it enables him to binge the story more, and I'm all for that. I'm all for the binge reads, and I think Robin Hobb's going to be a big hit with me, especially what I know about her character work. So look forward to that in 2021. The third series that I'm definitely going to get to, and this is no surprise, as if you watch my last video, Wrath by John Gwynne won Book of the Year. So the follow-up trilogy in the Banished Lands by John Gwynne, Of Blood and Bone, I kind of waited, because when you got something you love, you don't want to do it to death, and you want to make it last, right? You don't want to eat all the ice cream at once because it will give you a stomachache. I don't think John Gwynne's writing would make me ill or anything like that, but I wanted to make his works last, as he now in 2021 will be releasing a new series, which I believe is Norse-based fantasy, which is going to be tremendous. Very excited about that. But 2021, I will be getting to Of Blood and Bone, the sequel trilogy, and The Faithful and the Fallen, saga, Banished Lands, whatever you want to call it, and this is probably going to be up there. Petrick, who I love, gave the final book in this trilogy his Book of the Year award. Great list, by the way. Go check that on his channel. But with praise that high, and people saying it's even better than The Faithful and the Fallen, I can't imagine how psyched I'm going to be when I read this series. Sliding in here at number 4 is The Five Warrior Angels by Brian Lee Durfee. He has a booktube channel, which I thought was really cool. I subscribed to that, and he's a wild guy, and very candid and very honest, and I really enjoy his content. But I guess his series is just amazing. Petrick recommended it to me, and then I got more exposed to him from watching Fancy Book Talks. And this is just a series reading just a little overview and preview of the book and going off people's recommendations. I think it's going to be a home run with me. I love just big, epic fantasy that's gritty and raw, and I've heard that this is pretty gritty and raw. Fans of First Law, I guess this is right up our alley, so I'm pretty excited about it. And it's one that kind of jumped on the list. I think the third book is supposed to come out at the end of 2021. I will be waiting until the third book has a release date and then try to, plan out my reading. So 1, 2, and then I can read book 3 on the release. So be looking out for that towards the end of the year. And it's one that I think it's kind of creeped up on me, and it just shot up my TBR, and I'm pumped to get to it. And you guys know I love Grimdark, so number 5 shouldn't be a surprise if you've looked into Grimdark. And I don't know if I'm ready for this, but Prince of Nothing. This is a trilogy that I've had recommended to me. It's written by Scott Backer. I want to say Backer. I want to say Baker because my wife's maiden name was Baker, but it has 2 Ks, so I assume it's Scott Backer. I don't know. I've heard it's dark. I've heard it's really dark. There's some people who are not fans, are fans of grimdark, but I got to give it a shot at least because when you talk about grimdark, it's almost always recommended as the darkest thing you can read. So I'm up for the challenge, and it's something I'm going to get to 2021. I know there's more stuff in that universe written by him, but I think I'm probably going to stick to that main trilogy at first. And kind of staying with the grimdark theme here, that's a lot of what I read. A Land Fit for Heroes by Richard K. Morgan, more of an older piece. And I'll probably be reading also his Altered Carbon series. I've heard that you should read that first and then his medieval fantasy series. Abercrombie is largely influenced by Richard K. Morgan, and I think there's more authors than just that. Very excited to get to this. Highly recommended by some of my other reading friends, and a lot of nods to what we see today in the modern grimdark genre. And it's not just all fantasy here. There is some sci-fi that I want to get to. And, I might try to get to Starship Troopers, Hyperion, all that stuff. But I finished up Foundation Trilogy, and I said, okay, what's next? And what's next is the graduation to Dune. Dune has been recommended to me so many times, and it's a series that I'm actually dying to get to. I'm definitely going to read the book before I see the movie, which I have very high hopes for. Everyone involved in that movie I'm like huge fans of, from the actors to the production crew, the everything. It's going to be very good, I hope. But first things first, let's read the book. And I would like to read everything written by Frank Herbert until his son takes over, and just really get lost in that. From everything I know, it's like sci-fantasy, so it's going to be right up my alley. And I think with the politics at play, and apparently from his writing style, I think it's going to really resonate with me and click. And Dune, it might be my most... I'd say Dune is probably my second most anticipated thing I'm going to read in 2021. I think one is A Blood and Bone by John Gwynne, but just knowing what I know about Dune and who has recommended it to me, Dune is going to have a lot of hype, and I hope it lives up to it. And number 8, the reason I'm reading all these series, I said, listen, I'm gonna read everything I want, everything that's been on the list. I'm gonna bust through it, take my time, enjoy it. Because number 8's a tall order, and I watched a review that I was already going to read this in 2021, but man, I'm fired up. I watched a booktuber, Ridima. I hope I'm saying that. I'm probably not. I'm an idiot, but she did an amazing review of Gardens of the Moon, and it got me even more fired up for this series. It's Malazan. Number 8's Malazan, and just based on people that I respect the opinion of, and also just wanting that challenge of scope. Petrick has told me, as from Petrick Reads, that Malazan is the, just the widest universe you can get in fantasy. So I'm here for it. I'm going to try it. And I put a question mark next to it because it doesn't stick with everyone, but I am committed to reading the first 3 books at least. I've heard read the first 3, and if you're not in, you can jettison. You can be done. So the reason I put this last, because I kind of want my headspace clear. I don't want to be thinking, I can't wait to get to this series. I really want to take my time like I did with The Song of Ice and Fire. And I want to experience Malazan. I don't want to read Malazan. I want to experience it. And if that means reading it a bit slower, taking my time, not reading anything else for a bit, that's just what it's going to be. Because it is a special series, clearly, in the genre. Very polarizing, but it's popular for a reason. And with the scope being so big, I just want to give it its due and its time and its attention. So Malazan will probably be one of the last things I read. Maybe over the summer is when I'll do it. But I just want to have the slate clean. Not have anything that's like itching in the back of my mind because I just want to focus on Malazan. I'm pretty excited for it. 2021 could be the year of Malazan or Malazan. God, is it Malazan? Is it really Malazan? Because I've been saying Malazan for like 2 years. It's Malazan. I know it is, but I'll probably keep calling it Malazan. I'm sorry. So those are my top 8 things I'm for sure reading. There's a bunch of other series that I'll get to. Combat Codes, books 2 and 3. There's some other stuff. I'll probably be reading Elantris by... There's a lot of stuff I'm going to read. These aren't the only books, but they are the books that are 100% non-negotiable that I'll at least be giving a try. What are you looking forward to reading in 2021? Let me know down in the comments. Again, hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. And let me know what you think of the list. Have you guys read these books? Keep the spoilers out of the comments. But tell me, what I should be looking forward to the most. Because right now, Malazan, Dune, and Of Blood and Bone are neck and neck in that top 3. But it's always good to see you. I hope you're having a good new year. And until I see you next time, be good, be safe, be healthy, and remember to always keep turning the page.